for making this broadcast possible.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
So what do you know? You know the Cowboys defense is good. The Chargers are the Chargers. The Niners own the Rams. Giants came back from disaster. The Bengals are staring at disaster. What do you know coming out of week 2, or at least going into Monday of week 2 of the National Football League? What do you know coming out of rivalry Saturday? Here come Aggie fans. Here they come. Lobel fans, we can hear from you as well. What a weekend around here. And what do you know? It's really hard to bet the National Football League. Boy, you know that. Good morning to you. Merry Monday. And welcome to the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sport. Ooh, look at that. The Sports Animal. Jeff Symbieta. JJ Buck. DC. How you living?
What it do?
How you living, Bronco fans?
Ooh.
You felt pretty good the first half, didn't you?
They looked better in the first half than they have in about 18 months.
And then they remember that they're the Broncos and that's Russell Wilson, didn't they?
No.
No? What happened?
The
they got a
fact
Hail Mary at
that
the
they
end.
have a defense that is incredibly overrated.
Yes. Because Sam Howell and the Washington Commanders ran through them. Yeah, go ahead.
You're up 21-3 and lose the rest of the game, what, 31-12?
Yeah. Yeah. And 31-12. And honestly, I mean, the last 6 points were
The ghost of Brandon Stokely.
Seriously, Russ throwing the ball short and getting volleyball backwards and ending up in the hands of Brandon Johnson. Good for you. They're not that good. Cowboys are good. Boy, we learned so much. I look at things this weekend, and when we go through winners and losers, and we go through the red zone, and we go through everything, we go through injuries, you're going to start looking at the stuff and saying, wait a minute, the Falcons are 2-0 and the Bengals are 0-2. Patriots, for the first time in 22 years, are 0-2. What jumped off the page off of Sunday for you in the National Football? Is there one giant? Oh, giant. Is there one giant story that jumps off the page? Is it what is it?
We always talk about the Jimmies and the Joes.
Yeah.
But with the X's and the O's, I thought Mike McDaniel and Miami outcoached Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. As they hit him with a bit of a curveball, they ran the football. Raheem Mostert set the tone in that game. They got their star players the ball when it counted. That was an excellent game plan, performance, and execution by the Miami Dolphins.
It was good, and yet New England was still there for the second week in a row, an inch away. Like literally, an inch or two away from having a chance to be in that football game with an offensive lineman, and I thought he got it. I didn't know that. Honestly, I don't think there was enough there to overturn the initial call. I didn't think there was. Mike McDaniel's a good coach. I don't know that I feel that they outcoached him. I thought they had a really good game plan. I thought they had a really good game plan. They got at Mac Jones, which is what they do. But yeah, they ran the football, and all you think about them is, wow, they're gonna hit the wideouts. Because I thought, in some respect, I thought New England did a really nice job of taking Tyreek Hill out of the game. Right, he caught the short touchdown pass, and then Mike McDaniel countered and ran the ball, and they won the football game. So I'll give you that. I thought they did a really, really
because
nice
they established on it. It wasn't a game in which Miami went out there and tried to get 200 yards with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
They ran the football first. They're like, all right, we're coming at you with this. We're going to win the line of scrimmage. And then Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are too good to be quiet all night long, and they controlled that football game.
Yeah, that's good. I looked at Seattle. I thought that was a gutsy win on the road. Everybody's in love with Detroit, and I think everybody should be in love with Detroit. I think they're really good. And after what Seattle did last week and laying an egg at home to the Rams, maybe the Rams just aren't that bad. Maybe the Rams aren't horrible. I mean, they lose to the Niners, but they always lose to the Niners. The Niners usually run them out of the building. They played with the Niners yesterday. They covered. Yes, they covered. It's a whole nother conversation. I need 3 more yards out of Puka Nacua, DC. I was telling JJ, I got a fantasy team that has Puka Nacua and Brian Williams. Brian Robinson and Kyron Williams and Josh Reynolds, and I lost. Because I had all the Puka Nacua was the only one in my lineup. All the rest of those guys were on my bench scoring. Needed 3 more yards.
Dude, I got to tell you, though, that Puka call, like, you found the diamond in the rough.
You know nobody else who made that call, right?
I know no one.
Nobody else drafted that guy. I mean, I missed on a lot. I also drafted Rashee Rice, who I'm going to let go. Like, we swing and miss, and every once in a while, everybody goes to a draft. I got my guy. I did hit on Nacua.
Yeah, that was a
They
great
played
call.
him in week 1, though.
I did not play him in week 1, and I lost because I didn't play him. So I played him in week 2, and I lost because I needed a couple. I'm the worst fantasy football manager ever. Like, my benches are phenomenal, dude. I picked up Josh Reynolds yesterday morning, sat him on my bench. He had 2 touchdowns. Brian Robinson, well, I don't know. I mean, why? I got Joe Mixon and Rashad White. Why play Brian Robinson and Kyron Williams, who are just scoring like crazy? I got. If you raid my bench, you'll get healthy. Lots to do. We got a ton to do. 505-246-0610. I know you want to get in today, and we're here for you to get in today. You can send emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. You can get in on the rivalry. Danny Gonzalez is scheduled to be with us coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Aggies beat the Lobos out at University Stadium 27-17. Game across. Is this morning? What day is today?
The 18th?
This was from last week. All right. We got 27-17. Lobos moved the football. Aggies moved the football. It was a ton of offense to only have 54 points on the board, right? 44 points, 44 points on the board. I walk away from the game the other day, and the Aggies win. So their bottom line is bottom line, right? I still think those two teams are very, very evenly matched. I think that you see improvement in certainly what New Mexico's doing. New Mexico State knows how to win games, and the Lobos don't know how to win games yet. Right? New Mexico State won games last year. They started establishing a culture. They won games at the end. They won a bowl game. I know we have this conversation all the time about learning how to win, right? They know how to win. I thought there were 2 keys to that game the other night that swung it to New Mexico State. I thought the fumble on the second possession by New Mexico, Sherrod White, that early fell on that was caused by the defensive back I thought that was gigantic. And the biggest key to the game, Diego Pavia. He's just off schedule. He's a different kind of a player. He is a winner. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. It's just like the dude plays differently, and we knew he played differently. So I thought Miles Rouser putting his hat on the ball, causing the fumble, where the Lobos could have gone up 10-0, and they were moving the ball. They settled for a field goal. They go the other way. They're down 7-3. I thought that set the momentum, and Diego Pavia just makes plays.
It was the first 2 offensive possessions
Where they didn't score the touchdown.
You cannot get sacked on 1st and goal from the 3. That is unacceptable, especially with the quarterback, Dylan Hopkins. With the expectations, his experience, what he does, you cannot lose 10 yards on 1st and goal from the 3.
Yeah, and Gabe Iniguez came in and made a big play for New Mexico State. I thought there were...
That's the difference, because that, in the what-if game, that should have been 14-0.
Sure, no, absolutely should have been. Because they had like 100, I want to say it was 146 or 163, something yards in offense after 2 drives and had 3 points.
And that's the thing, is it feels like New Mexico State knows how to bounce back, as you said, knows how to win. They adjusted, they bent, they did not break, and it was the Lobos missing opportunities, giving up touchdown right before halftime again to go down, get within 20-17, first play, 75-yard touchdown.
How about that play? By the way, on the broadcast, the Aggies were running it down their throat. Okay, the Aggies, they have 177 yards rushing. And the previous drive, they kept running it. And I asked George at some point, I said, when are they going to pull it and throw the ball? And give Tim Beck credit, the offensive coordinator for New Mexico State. When he decided to pull it and throw the ball was on the first play of the next drive when the Lobos were looking for that run. And you figure, okay, they're going to try to run some clock out. And they pulled it, and there was Jonathan Brady, and he just ran away from everybody. That young man had 2 touchdown catches, one of them for 75 yards, and the 75-yarder, for all intents and purposes, put the game away.
The Aggies were able to hit the Lobos with stunners. Anytime the Lobos tried to answer, tried to fight back, it was a monster play from New Mexico State.
Yeah. What do you think about the defenses? There was 800-plus yards of offense, right, in this game? There was... You look at the score and you say, wow, it's not a gigantic score. I don't even know what the over-under was, but I'm going to guess it went under. But when I look at total offense, 401 yards for the Lobos, 397 yards for the Aggies. So that's just two yards short of 800, 798 yards. But I thought the Aggie defense made stops when they needed to. They had the only turnover of the game. And the breakdown, the secondary. So Christian Ellis was not there in the first half, and they went at Jamarius Lewis, and they beat him on the first touchdown, right? And you figure, okay, Christian Ellis is coming back, but then Jonathan Brady just runs away from everybody in the second half. I thought, obviously, they missed Christian Ellis, who was serving the penalty for the targeting the previous week, so he got loose. But what do you think of the two defenses?
The only reason there wasn't more is because it was kind of a limited possession first half. Like, there were long drives from the offense. They took time and yardage. I think with the Lobos, you're just so frustrated because there was no answer for Diego Pavia. He had 299 yards total offense. He led the Aggies in rushing. It was 8.8 yards per pop, whether it was a designed run or the play broke down and he made something happen.
Yeah, I want to give a little credit to that offensive line in New Mexico State. Do you know they came into the game, and I think they were 7th in the country in yards per rush. They were getting 6.31 yards per carry. They run the football. And Star Thomas is a thick back. He had 5.5 yards a carry. To me, the difference, Diego Pavia.
Yeah. The play broke down. He was on the outside, or he'd make a ridiculous throw across the field to find a receiver that, how the heck did he see him open on the other side of the field? He was unbelievable.
All right, 505-246-0610. You can get in on the rivalry. I know Aggie fans coming. Lobo fan, where are you on this? Want to hear from you today. We're going to hear from Danny Gonzalez coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. And you were out there. By the way, the atmosphere was terrific. Can I give you that? Did you guys both go? And I know what it looked like on TV. They moved the student section was packed when they finally got in from the parking lot. So about mid-second quarter, when they finally got in, it was packed.
There's a lot of people still trying to get into that building.
Well, I mean, that's just how that happens, right? I mean, you can tell them all you want. And there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 entrance points, and that's just how it is. I thought the west side was full, but I thought the atmosphere around the place was really nice. Yeah, the tailgating, everybody seemed like they were having a good time. It's what college football was supposed to be, right? I mean, for those of you who like tailgating, I'm just saying.
It was.
Yeah.
Put a big old smile on my face when I was sitting there in traffic trying to get in.
505-246-0610. Come on in. When we come back, Bronco fan, that one hurts, and it's going to be really hard to come back from that. How do you come back? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. You want an exciting and fast-paced podcast?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Pick 3 games, your favorite. Here's not 3 games, just pick 3 bets that you really like. And all of us played the Denver game. All 3 of us played the Denver-Washington game. We all had different plays on it, but we all played the Denver-Washington game. I think we did. No, you didn't, DC. You didn't play it. JJ and I did. And it looked good early. I mean, Russell Wilson, I'm like, okay, maybe, like I told you guys, I want to be wrong on this. I want to be wrong on Russ. I want to see them be better. I want to see him look like Russell Wilson. I want to see, I just think it'll be more fun around here if the Broncos are better. And they jump out, what were they up? 21-3, 21-7? What was it? Big, right?
That game isn't on Russell Wilson, though.
I agree with that, but well, I don't know if I totally agree with that. Their defense is not very good, but where was he in the second half? What did he do?
Had the interception.
Yeah.
But you finish 18-32, 308 yards, 3 touchdowns, and you can't close out a game at home against Sam Howell. I can't sit here and start every take with Russell Wilson.
Oh, okay, fine. I mean, that's fine. He got him out. Nor was in the second half. So your take on the Broncos then? Bad defense?
Yeah, it's an offense in Washington that barely got 250 yards against Arizona and put up almost 400 yards total offense in Denver.
Yep.
That game squarely falls on the defense.
388. Brian Robinson ran through them. Sam Howell looked good when Sam Howell needed to look good. And that's just a devastating loss. Like the way the Cardinals loss is devastating. But, I mean, whatever. The Cardinals they had no expectations. I think in Denver there were some expectations. This is brutal. That's a brutal loss.
This team was 1-1 last year. After 2 games with Nathaniel Can't Hack It.
Okay.
0-2 with the Savior, Sean Payton.
The Savior. No. Where do you think this gets better? Because here come the Dolphins, who are playing like the best team in the NFL right now.
They lost both those games at home to Denver, to the Raiders and Commanders.
Yep.
Now you got to go play Miami.
Now you're going on the road to play Miami and the Bears. You come home, play the Jets, and go to Kansas City.
Vic Fangio.
You think he wants to look at you?
Look at this defense, Sean. Have fun with this.
I was thinking of changing up defenses after next week. I got Miami's defense. I think I'll hold on to them one more week. I think old Vic might want a little piece of the Broncos. Say, remember me? There's that old dude sitting up in the press box. Remember him? 2 coaches ago? He wasn't good enough. You needed Nathaniel Hackett. When I do my biggest winners and losers, they're on the list, by the way. Is that fair? Broncos?
JJ, are you starting to question Peyton at all?
Sean Payton?
Sean Payton, yeah.
Not quite. I just think it didn't match up, like Sean Payton's expectations from, you hired Sean Payton versus what this roster is. The defense was a quarterback away like 3 years ago, not now. And we see Russell Wilson.
That's right.
Wasn't plug and play, but Russell Wilson plays like this with the defense 3 years ago. They're 2-0.
Can they run the football? I know you guys love Javonte Williams, but Russ was your leading rusher. I don't know that I think he's first of all, I don't know that I believe in that offensive line enough to have him run the football. Now you're down a bunch of receivers, and I get it. And who's your leading receiver yesterday? It was Marvin Mims, because he caught the long one. And then Brandon Johnson had the Hail Mary.
Yeah, there wasn't.
How about the short Hail Mary? He throws it 5 yards short and it still ends up as a touchdown.
Yeah. It was a pretty good throw, actually.
If you're going the other way, it was because he got flushed to his left and he threw it across his body. He didn't get to run into it.
And you look at the Broncos, you bring up that point too. Offensively, it's Javonte Williams 12 carries, Samaje Perine 1, McLaughlin got 1. It was a 5-yard touchdown run.
Yep.
The receiving game was just so big play dominated. Look at Marvin Mims, and then Brandon Johnson is skewed. So there really wasn't. They weren't able to sustain anything because of that running game.
Yeah, and you talk about skewed. You want to talk about Russ's line, right? You said he was 308 yards. He got 50 on that Hail Mary, right? Mm-hmm. So he had 2 of them. 100 yards on those 2 long plays. Yeah. One of them was a Hail Mary, and he had a 60-yard touchdown to Marvin Mims. And so I'll give him the 50-yard touchdown. That one they earned. But it was really skewed. It was really, whatever.
They go out there and sustain something.
Yeah, they're in
the second half. And so yes, it's Russell Wilson, but it's this running game was not good. I was really surprised about the usage overall of that backfield, and it's a good Commanders front. It is a solid front 7, but you're up at home, and that's when you expect Sean Payton and an offense to figure out a plan, have the lead, second half, Mile High Stadium, and instead they sputter, and the defense was an utter disaster.
All right, so how is it getting better? Or is it? I just don't see it.
It's not. And the first one in the fall is going to be Russell Wilson.
You think he's the first? Because I'm not sure I do. The first.
Everyone wants him to be.
Quarterback, the first starting quarterback to be benched non-injury.
Can't, because like Jarrett Stidham's not like.
Where are they going?
Everyone's talking about Jarrett Stidham.
Like all of a sudden he's the savior. I love when you start talking about guys who have been career backups. Well, we'll win with him. Put him in, and all of a sudden, what?
Brian Robinson, 95 yards total offense in the second half.
Yeah.
Did Jarrett Stidham play middle linebacker for you?
Yeah. Can he make a tackle? That'd be really cool. No. Yeah. All right. Then there's the Cowboys and their defense. Look, as I was watching the Giants score nothing against Arizona in the first half, and I'm like, all right, the Cowboys are good, but are they that damn good? And in 2 weeks, they're going to 3 weeks, they're going to get the Niners. They get the Cardinals. How about that? They start with the Giants, Jets, and Cardinals. Now poor Joshua Dobbs has to go deal with that crap. They're going to get tested at some point, right? They get the Niners, Chargers, and Rams, and Eagles, and after that, they're really good. They're really good, and poor Zach Wilson never had a chance. Never had a chance. Is their offense good enough to win? Was the question, right? Dak was 31 for 38, very efficient, 2 touchdowns. They ran the ball for 134 yards. They dominated the Jets. Jets supposedly really good defense. I thought the Jets defense was, whatever, fine. They gave up 30 points though. This was utter domination, and I expect it to be that way next week. They're racking up some confidence. Their defense is insane. And I don't know where to put them when you talk about the Eagles and talk about the Niners, and I'm going to put the Dolphins in that conversation right now too.
Oh, just overall best teams in the NFL.
Yeah. I'm going to put the Dolphins up there, and at some point I think the Chiefs are going to get back there because I don't know what they are offensively, but right now, they're one of the best teams in the NFL.
The Jets sure didn't look like this vaunted defense in that game, and Zach Wilson. Those are 3 interceptions that you can't throw. I went back and looked at those 3 plays because I was like, I want to chart this just to make sure what happened. They all 3 came in the fourth quarter. So was he trying to do too much in the fourth quarter? The first one they were down 27-10. 2nd and 10, Wilson flushed out to his right and he throws it right at a defender. But you still can't throw that football at 2nd and 10 early in the fourth quarter. There's no reason to throw that. Next one, 2nd and 15, throws the deep ball, does not read a safety over the top. Easy pickings for the safety to come over and make that play. And then the third one, he just missed the running back, just outright missed the throw.
Look, they're going to struggle with him. And there's the big talk I heard this week kind of started somewhere Thursday, and then caught fire with a lot of talking heads. Kirk Cousins on an expiring contract, somehow going to the Jets. Right? Minnesota's 0-2. You wouldn't have to pay him long term. If you can get the Vikings to eat some of that money, does Kirk Cousins make sense? I don't know where the Jets are going to go and how they're going to handle this. And at some point, they're going to stop playing the Cowboys and the Bills. They get New England next week, then they get the Chiefs. I mean, they got a tough start. Then they get the Broncos, then they get the Eagles. I don't know where they think they're getting points, where they think they're getting wins with this, although they did beat the Bills. Zach Wilson, I think, has gotten better. I don't know that Zach Wilson is good enough to get them to where they built.
He just
that
can't be
roster to
throwing. He can't, even in you're down 17 points.
Yeah.
You cannot be making those throws in the fourth quarter, because it just adds to the fact that people don't trust you and believe in you. If you lose that game, but you play clean, you can start looking at maybe the play calling and what happened. Why was Breece Hall not involved in that game? Why was Nathaniel Hackett not manufacturing touches for Breece Hall? He had 4 touches in the game, and Breece Hall after the game said, I don't know.
Yeah.
Why wasn't I part of the game plan? I don't know.
Yeah, they got to give me the ball.
So those could be fair talking points. Instead, Zach Wilson out there needlessly throwing the football away late in the game when he should be trying to gain confidence and, hey, I'm going to control the football. We're going to find a way to grind. No, it was the same old Zach Wilson in the fourth quarter.
All right, 505-246-0610. Love to hear from you on the college weekend, which was really interesting. On the NFL weekend, you got baseball. Orioles in the playoffs. Rays in the playoffs. Dodgers won the division. You got a whole lot going on. When we come back, you're down by 10. There's 3 seconds to go. You kick a field goal. The spread was 7.5. Why'd you kick a field goal? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is brought to you by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Right? It's crazy. What do you make of the Rams? Do you have a totally different feel of the Rams after 2 weeks?
Matthew Stafford is the difference. He got hurt last year. People did not believe he could come back from said injury. Thus, they did not think the Rams are going to be competitive and or any good.
Well, then Cooper Kupp went down.
Yes.
And they just found another Puka Nacua. Instead of Cooper Kupp, they found Puka Nacua.
Week 1 was absolutely Seattle overlooking the Rams. Like, that performance caught Seattle by surprise. Matthew Stafford out there 344 yards with no Cooper Kupp. But it's like, oh, yeah, this guy is pretty good. He did win a Super Bowl. First time he stepped into that locker room for the Los Angeles Rams. And Sean McVay, he can scheme up an offense, man. The dude has a quarterback. He can get players involved. Because name someone other than Cooper Kupp that made plays on that offense.
Last year?
You can't.
Yeah.
But yet they still were successful. Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay are together. And that was a classic division game where, all right, these teams know each other so much. Everyone just, all right, San Francisco, they're going to remind the Rams who they really are this season. But when you have teams and coaching staffs that know each other so well, you get games like this. And it was the second half, though, it was the Niners defense taking over. They forced 2 turnovers. We were able to make plays when it counted. And for Brock Purdy, it was another clean football game. Didn't throw a touchdown, but he found the end zone himself, as did Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel on the ground.
Deebo always scores against the Rams. Always. Yeah.
But the numbers for Puka Nacua are insane.
They're
they're
historical. They've never been.
It's never happened.
Yeah.
You're talking 2 games, and the dude has already been targeted 35 times.
He has more catches in his first 2 games than anybody in the history of the National Football League. I'm not telling you he's the best receiver in the history of the National Football League. I'm telling you he has more catches in his first 2 games than anybody ever in the history of the National Football League. Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, pick your great receiver.
25.
It's insane. It's insane. Right? And you're like, Kakua? What? Puka Nacua. And that's what the Rams do. It's very reminiscent of where Cooper Kupp came from, right? Cooper Kupp was a second-round pick, and everybody went, what? A short Caucasian receiver out of Eastern Washington? This was the third-round guy to BYU, right? That was...
He's 5th round, dude.
5th round? All right, totally unheralded.
Yeah.
And they see something that fits in their offense.
The Cooper Kupp one, it was few and far between. Like, there was only one person on Cooper Kupp.
It was Sean McVay.
It was Steve Smith.
Okay.
Senior, the wide receiver.
Okay. You mean outside of the organization?
Yeah, there's clips of that draft class where Steve Smith said Cooper Kupp's the best receiver in that draft class.
Okay.
But that's like in-depth football dude seeing something that no one else sees.
Yeah.
And that was it.
There was no one on this one. Yeah. And that's what the Rams have done. All right, the 3 for all. JJ, you had under the 46.5, Baltimore and Cincinnati. I went over, right? Baltimore and Cincinnati was 51. So you lose that. You had Denver minus 3.5 versus Washington. You felt pretty good about yourself, didn't you? Until it didn't happen. You lose that. You had Indy plus 1 at Houston. They won outright. So you were 1 and 2 this week. You're 2 and 4. I had Washington plus 3.5 at Denver. They won. I went over on the Chargers and Titans. That went over. And it was 45, and it went to, what was the number on that one? Chargers and Titans went, that's 51. So it went, the number was 45, and it went to 51. And I had Houston over Indianapolis. So I was 2 and 1. I'm 3 and 3. I'm back to even. You, my friend?
Not so much.
Packers minus 1.5 at Atlanta. They lost the game. Chargers minus 2.5 at Tennessee. They lost the game. You took 3.5 with Jacksonville at home against Kansas City, and they lost, I believe it was 18-7, 18-9. What was it? 17-9. So you're 0-3, 0-6.
That's why I don't bet.
Let your wife know you're just doing it for fun. For some reason, like you all of a sudden your paycheck isn't showing up. Well, no, baby, I'm really not. I'm not betting.
I have no idea where Isleta is. Don't you worry, ma'am.
0-6.
You look at them and it's like, oh,
they're hard, man.
It is. It's really hard, and there's no joke. You can sit here and read about football all day, every day, and you still go 0-6.
I mean, I'm not proud to be 3 and 3, but I mean,
you should be.
I've lost the juice. You're 2 and 4, and you're 0-6.
Yep. Going to be coming back though. Come back strong this week.
You should just go double, dude. Just go chase your money. Bet the late Hawaii game because that's what everybody does. Go chase it all. Bet the Monday night games. You get 2 to chase your losses from the weekend.
How many people lost money in prime time on Saturday night?
On Prime, I would have.
Yeah, everyone.
All right, well, let's hit that. When we come back, I came back from the Lobo game, an Aggie game, whichever one you prefer, and sat and was entertained until after midnight. How about that? And what a lost opportunity for Jay Norvell and the Rams. Prime time. Move prime time to the middle of the night. It's the opening drive. Danny Gonzalez going to be with us at 8 o'clock on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal. You're home for Monday night and Sunday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
Hi, I'm Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United.
I don't know what you did Saturday night, if you went to New Mexico State, New Mexico, and what you did after the game. I know a lot of us wanted to go back and watch Colorado State, which delivered way, way, way better and differently than I think any of us thought it would. I like so many of you, I started my day watching game day. I don't do it all the time. It's not one of those things I always have to do. But game day was in Boulder, and watching Coach Prime and watching The Rock and watching the hysteria. And for you guys that had it differently, and I know DC, you spent so much time up there, it was sheer entertainment. And I told you last week, and this is why, again, I don't bet because I'm wrong. I thought the easiest bet on the board was Colorado. I thought they were going to annihilate Colorado State. I thought they were going to embarrass them and take them to them because why? Because they done made it
personal.
I'm just out here trying to be the best I can be, and they done made it
personal.
I thought they were going to beat the doors off them. And there I get back, and Colorado State's winning. And Colorado State looked legit. And I'm going to tell you, Colorado State let that one get away. Colorado State and Jay Norvell had a chance to just shock everything and not shut it up, but quiet it, and more so validate Jay Norvell, not for his statement, because his statements were asinine. Right. But put his program on the map, because Colorado State's not going back into that spotlight again. Right? They're just not. They rode Prime into this national spotlight. Nobody gave a damn about the Washington Generals until the Washington Generals were winning. I was entertained till well after midnight. I got to believe you guys were too.
Yes. The game was wild, unbelievable, unexpected. Jay Norvell starting a brand new quarterback that game, making plays, putting the pressure on Colorado. It was a great performance from Colorado State. But, of course, at the end, it was CU that found a way.
That was a very expensive 3-week run for CU. I hope they enjoyed it. It is over.
What do you say expensive? What do you mean?
So when you talk to the donors, they're not really as happy about Prime as everyone else because they're going to end up being asked for a lot more money. And so...
Well, they don't have... I mean, more money for tickets or more money just to give?
Just to give.
The NIL to... Okay.
So these next 2 weeks, they're going to go out and look like Colorado's supposed to look. They're going to be 3-2.
Well, okay. So that's really interesting that you say that. So you're like, wow, this isn't all that great.
No, the only one who won was Prime. To be honest, he made $1 million on Friday selling
sunglasses. 1.2 million, I believe, was the number.
1.2. Yeah. He was on every commercial this weekend. He
was on 60 freaking minutes last night.
Yeah, he was everywhere, man. He sold himself some Prime, and good for him. But the party's over in Colorado.
So it's funny you say that because none of us thought they were going to beat TCU. Okay? None of us thought they were going to beat TCU. Then it was like, well, I mean, Nebraska's going to be interesting. They blew the doors off Nebraska. And the game we thought they're going to win moving away, they damn near lost. Here comes Oregon and SC. My nephew goes to Oregon. He's like, you won't even believe it. I mean, like the tickets, what's going on up here with Dion coming up to Eugene next week and then SC going into Boulder the week after. If they split these two, they win one of the two, you think it's over?
Yeah, I don't.
They're there. I mean, they're a bowl team, right? Like, I think the Las Vegas Bowl love to have them. Any of the Pac-12 with the Sun Bowl love to have them?
Is it only college football playoff? Is what you're saying now? People are going to care about the Buffaloes?
They were 1-11 last year. They go to any freaking bowl game, they should be thrilled.
They should. Yeah, bowl game would be great for them.
I'm interested to see where this goes. I really am. Travis Hunter's out. He's their stud two-way star, and he took a cheap hit. The young man's name is Aiden Hector, who hit him. It was a cheap hit. And so they were without him on both sides of the ball. Which, and by the way, he was the guy who got juked out of his draws on the tying touchdown in overtime. I'm going to tell you this is an interesting watch, man. JJ and I both heard something, and what do you think of Dion to the Chargers?
What do you think about Dion to the XFL?
Why?
I mean, he could basically run the thing. He and The Rock are obviously good.
Yeah, but they're relatively irrelevant. I mean, you think he makes them relevant? You think people all of a sudden watch the XFL?
So they're watching Colorado.
They are, but that's college football. They're in an entity that people
Division I college football matters more than the XFL.
Yeah. I mean, Brandon Staley, I got to believe, is going to be the first coach fired at the Chargers. Him in L.A., all of a sudden they matter, right?
Prime in L.A., that would work.
Yeah, or maybe the Jets have a coach. Sean, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Sean.
Hey, good morning.
What's happening?
It's been a long time since I've called Aggie fan here, and just, with everything that kind of went down last year, took a step away a little bit. But I got to say, I was pretty excited for the rivalry coming up. I heard Danny, early in the week, and I could definitely tell there was a tone change where it was more of like looking forward to the rivalry instead of talking about hatred and all the vitriol that we've had over the years, right? And then all of a sudden, Eddie on Wednesday has to start charging the band, several $1,000s to show up and just be there. And I get it; he's from the SEC; they do that all the time there. That's not something we do here, And then I see that they stick him on the side of the stadium, right up in the corner, right in the blazing sun, on an empty side of the stadium. So I guess he was looking for some revenue. I'm not sure what was really going on there, but it was a really entertaining game. I thought near the end, when the Lobos were down by 2 scores, their lack of urgency was really strange. And I know NMSU played into that smartly by also, throwing in some substitutions there. So they
stopping the clock.
So that clock was just churning.
Yep.
But there's just some weird choices there. I mean, just running the ball, like you guys, we don't have another quarter to play here. But happy with the win, obviously, as an Aggie fan. From all reports I've seen, everything went okay. So, happy to see that the rivalry's back. Thank you guys.
No, thanks, Sean. On the band thing. So here's the way I understand this. There's 450 tickets, comp tickets in the contract, and those go basically to your student. Each guy gets 4. Your family gets to go. That's how they get tickets. This is not uncommon that you charge for the band. From what I understand, is from New Mexico State. That's never been done before. They claim they've never charged New Mexico's band. New Mexico says we don't send our band down there because they've had bad experiences. So whatever. This isn't like it's never been done before. And I don't know if you saw the Texas-Alabama game last week. You see where Alabama stuck Texas's band?
The same thing.
The equivalent of the same thing, just way higher because their stadium's way bigger. And that's what it's a rivalry game, and I don't know that I've got a huge problem where they put the band. I mean, it's what it is, and or you're bringing your band, we're putting them up there. By the way, their band was loud. Their band came early. Their band played. Their band was. I mean, they got a tremendous band and spirit section. They really good. It's not uncommon. The way I've heard it, it's never been done in this series before. And so they did it, and they came up with money, and it's not like they charge every kid $20. That's how that came across. Like all these poor band kids had to come up with $20 out of their pocket to get in. That's not what happened. Now, has it ever been done before? New Mexico State says it's never been the spirit of this rivalry. New Mexico says, look, that's how it is, man. That's how it's done. So, rivalry, man. NMSU got him. We're going to talk to the head coach of UNM when we come back. Danny Gonzalez. Lobos lose 27-17. They got a cross-country trip to UMass, and then they start league play. No time to sulk. You got to turn around and get going and turn this thing around quickly against a UMass team that looks a whole lot different than maybe they did a year ago. Where the Lobos go from here, you're going to find out next. How do they turn around? Oh, and Danny made a bold prediction. Or was that a guarantee after it was all said and done about going to a bowl game? It's the opening drive. Danny Gonzalez next on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Thursday night and tonight football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Big weekend, big crowd, big atmosphere out of University Stadium last weekend. The rivalry of enchantment went to New Mexico State for the second year in a row. 27-17, the Aggies beat the Lobos. Next up for New Mexico, road trip. A fly trip, across the country trip. They're going to Amherst to play the University of Massachusetts. Conversation with Danny Gonzalez, brought to you by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. Where do you turn when you need legal help? Rudy's experienced and really cares. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500 today and make your legal problems go away. The head football coach at the University of New Mexico is Danny Gonzalez. He joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Danny. How you doing?
Good morning. Getting ready for the next one. How are you guys doing this morning?
We're well, thank you. I thought look, this was a football game, a lot of offense going up and down the field. I thought there were two big things in the game. I thought a turnover on the second series when you guys were driving and moving the ball at will, and the other one was Diego Pavia. I thought he was terrific.
I mean, he made big plays with his feet, especially on some scrambles. They ran the ball in the second and third quarter. Obviously, way too successful. But I agree. There's turning points in every game. I talk about it all the time. 3 or 4 plays. We missed the opportunity going on the first drive. We had to settle for a field goal instead of a touchdown. And then the very next play, we have an opportunity to pick six that goes through one of our hands and drops it. And then we forced the 3 and out, and we're going down, and we fumble inside the 10-yard line. I mean, we gave up 18 points right there with scoring the first touchdown, and there's a completely different complexity. And then the other opportunity, I mean, they made 2 big plays, the one before halftime, where we've obviously got to get better in coverage, and then the 75-yard touchdown that separated the game when we sold the momentum back to get within 3.
Let me ask you about the last one. It looked like the first one that was broken coverage. The second, the one when you score to get to 20-17, there's about 5.5 minutes to go. They had just run the ball really, really well actually on the drive previously. And I said to George Carter on the broadcast, I said, at what point did they pull it, and are they going to throw it? And they kept running it, and they decided to do it on the first play of that next series. Did that catch you guys off guard? Was it what happened defensively on that play where Jonathan Brady went for 75 yards?
Well, on both of the ones, Jonathan Brady, he had a couple really nice moves. On the very first one, right there at the end of the first half, ran a double move. We jumped on the slant, and he ran by the safety and scored the touchdown. And then the second one, we're playing man-free coverage, and they did a nice job of the RPO. We sit through the fake. Our safety was too far out leverage, and Jonathan Brady ran away from him. So, I mean, we've got to be able to make those plays in coverage. It really hurt not having Christian Ellis in the first half, because Christian's one of our better players, and then Tavian tweaked his ankle. He looked fine yesterday. He tweaked his ankle a little bit in the second half, and I thought for the longevity of the season, it was better to get Christian there. But it hurt not having Christian Ellis in the first half to be able to play one of the Wolf safeties.
Danny Gonzalez, Lobo football coach, with us on the Sports Animal.
Now, Danny, we've talked about the season, growth and development for the secondary, but even the offense and understanding how to make plays in big moments. And you mentioned those first 2 series, especially first and goal from the 3, taking that sack puts you in a different position. How do you see growth in those situations moving forward from your offense?
Well, obviously, I mean, you can't miss a block, and Andrew Erickson was getting ready to come open for a touchdown, but give them credit. They made a good play right there. You cannot turn the ball over. I mean, we can't. We're going in. We were moving the ball really precisely, and then turn the ball over on the 9-yard line. I mean, that was a good hit. Doesn't matter how hard they hit you. You got to be able to take care of the football and capitalize on those opportunities. Our football team is going to keep getting better every single week as we go. The temperament and the personnel in our team, obviously, we need to make those plays in critical moments, and we will continue as the season goes along.
And Danny, coming into the season, you talked about breaking things down, focusing, especially coming out of halftime in the third quarter. I got to believe now you're going to be kind of looking at closing out the second quarter, especially defensively.
No doubt. I mean, they popped a couple. I mean, the quarterback popped a couple runs when we had an opportunity to, like the field goal that they kicked. We have an opportunity to keep them out of field goal range, take a wrong aiming point, and we talked about it all week long. He's really good at getting out of the pocket. And then the third quarter, they ran the ball. He had 3 runs that were over 10 yards where we got to be better and make that thing bounce outside to the second level, and we did not do a good job of that. We did a better job in the first and the fourth quarter, but we got to keep them from being able to sustain drives, and then we got to capitalize on drives when we have the football and get points on the board. I mean, we left 21 points out there, but give them credit. They made plays when they needed to.
Danny Gonzalez, Lobo football coach, is with us. Stay on the defensive theme. Where are you most concerned defensively? Is it just tackling? Is it scheme? Giving up 400 yards, a lot of yards. 27 points is probably you can win games when you give up 27 points. So where are you with your defense?
Well, it's big plays. We got to get better in the secondary. Now it'll help having Christian Ellis back this week, and I thought Noah Pola-Gates played really well. They didn't target him because he's done such a good job in coverage. He's gotten better every week since the Texas A&M game. So if we can get a little bit healthy back there, Tavian's full speed, and we can get Christian Ellis at one of the Wolves, it'll help. And then those 2 younger guys, they're going to be good players. They need to grow up and as the plays are happening. If we get better back there at the secondary, you can obviously do more things up front. There were times that we had to protect them and didn't have enough in the box. And then when the game got to a point where we started taking some momentum, it was, you know what, boys, this is the time we got to capitalize. And when you put them in positions like that, we got to learn to make plays because you can't protect them all day long. Now, like I said, we get those guys healthy back. Noah's getting better every week, played really well Saturday. It should change the trajectory of what we can do with some of those things, but it's not a schematic thing. It's about making plays.
All right, you watch the tape. Talk about your quarterback. George, during the broadcast, said he felt Dylan was a little bit off on Saturday. How do you think your quarterback played after watching the tape?
I thought he missed a couple throws. Now, we dropped 4 or 5 balls that we had been making catches on early on. Targeted DJ a few times. DJ had one, the one he bobbled down there that he came up with too late in the end zone. He missed a couple throws. He missed that first glance on the touchdown opportunity on the first drive where we end up with a field goal. But Dylan's a really good quarterback. I wouldn't trade him for anybody in the world, and he's going to continue to get better. His confidence, his leadership will continue to grow as the season goes along. But I mean, he missed a couple throws, but that wasn't a factor in the game.
Well, you obviously believe in this team, and there's been progress. Starting out 1-2 wasn't what you wanted to start, but you made a statement after the game that you really feel that this team will be in a bowl game. And what made you want to say that at that point? And where's that statement coming from? What obviously the message is to fans, I'm going to guess, is, hey, don't give up on this team. They're still pretty good.
No, I mean, I said I'll try and keep the faith because I believe in what the trajectory of this team looks like. And I think we have a bunch of really good players in that locker room that believe in what we're doing. We'll capitalize on some of the moments that we missed on Saturday. Obviously, you don't want to miss those moments against that team. But we'll get better as we go down this season. And I think on our schedule from New Mexico State all the way to the very end, I think Boise and Fresno are maybe a little bit more talented, not significantly. Wyoming's playing pretty good. But everybody on that schedule is like talent. So we've got to prepare every week. I thought the preparation was good last week. We've got to make more plays in the second hours. We can't pick up big plays and turn the football over. But we'll continue to get better every single week. And all those games, we're going to have to find a way to put more points in the end zone when we have opportunities down in the red zone, keep them out of getting big plays, and this team will end up in a bowl game.
Danny, do you see that belief from your team when you get back with those guys? You start talking to them on Sunday, you get ready for this week when they come back tomorrow. Do you feel that they're going to echo that sentiment?
100%. Wouldn't have said it if I didn't believe in this football team. I don't say things just so people get excited. I believe in what I believe. I believe in this football team, and if you want to be a good coach, you get good players, and I think we've got a bunch of good players on this football team that'll continue to get better. I mean, obviously, we had 400 yards or so offense. We got to get down there in the end zone, in the red zone, and put the ball in the end zone. And we'll continue to get better as the season goes along. So I 100% believe in the football players that we have on this team and what the trajectory of this program is, or I wouldn't have said it.
You're going to get on a long plane ride. You got to go across the country and go play a UMass team who beat New Mexico State, open the season, has been without their starting quarterback since. They just had a tough one on the road. They lose to Eastern Michigan this week in 19-17, so they're 1-3. That's a different UMass football team than maybe people were used to seeing over the years. I know you've already started looking at them. What do you see now with them without their starting quarterback?
I see two very similar teams. UMass, obviously, they played well in the first game down in Las Cruces, created a bunch of turnovers, and that was the difference in that game. Tyson Famicon, the quarterback that you're talking about, got hurt in the Auburn game. I don't know whether he'll be back. Their backup is not as athletic as far as running the football as him, but he's got a great arm, and they move the ball on people. They're very similar football team to us. They've had opportunities to win games and have come up short. In the Miami-Ohio game, they cut the game to within 3 with 2 minutes to go, and Miami-Ohio comes out and throws a 70-yard touchdown pass. There's two teams that are very similar. It's going to be a great football game on Saturday. Our kids are excited. Doesn't matter where it is, all the way across country or whatnot. It's an afternoon football game. We'll prepare this week and go out there, and it's going to be a good football game.
Talk about emotion. I know you said your team had to keep their emotions in check, and I thought they did that this week. And I thought, for the most part, the game I watched on Saturday was a really clean game that was filled with emotion. I loved the atmosphere about it. There was so much good about for college football. You play emotions with your team now, and that was such a big deal. How do you now refocus this club? And when you looked in their eyes yesterday, did you see what you need to emotionally to back up your statements and to back up what you believe in this team?
Well, I think we have a more mature football team than we've had in the past. I think they were very hurt after the game, as they should have been. When you put everything that you put into the 12 opportunities that you have during the season, if it doesn't hurt, you're doing something wrong. And you can't let that linger. They came in yesterday at 1 o'clock. A bunch of them were here early for treatment and all those things that need that stuff that a normal football team or mature football team handles. And then at 3 o'clock, we lifted weights, started meetings. And I thought the attitude was right. It was time to move on. I mean, they weren't jolly, laughing, joking, all that stuff. That's not the demeanor. You could tell that they were upset from everything they put into it. But once we started in on the UMass stuff and moved on, went over the points and the critical things that we need to fix to give us a chance to win football games, I think they handled it the right way and moved on, and now it's time to go get ready to play UMass.
Lastly, atmosphere was fun around that place. I know you had the buddy walk beforehand. You were around. There were a lot of people. There was they were jam-packed getting in the building. I thought the atmosphere was what college football should be around here.
It is. I mean, you have to give our event staff credit. I mean, we tried to warn people with the way things were going to come in. It might take a little bit longer to get into the football game as we continue to go around that. I mean, obviously that was the biggest one that we were planning for. I thought the event staff did a great job. I didn't hear of any shenanigans that went on in the stands, which is good, responsible by both fans that we asked about all week long. I thought the atmosphere was great. Missed opportunity. We got to put the ball in the end zone. We have those opportunities and get off the field with and give them big plays. So we'll continue to get better and stand by what I say.
Always appreciate you spending some time with us. Safe travels to UMass. We'll see you during the week, Danny. Thanks.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks.
All right, be well. Danny Gonzalez, the head football coach at the University of New Mexico. It's a long trip. You're on the trip this week. JJ's going to be in for Robert Portnoy. Rob's unable to make the trip, so JJ's going to have the call with Don Trell over on News Radio KKOB and the Lobo Radio Network, and you can respond to what you heard right there. The coach just said, I believe in this team. I wouldn't have made this statement if I didn't believe it, and he believes that this team is good enough, that there's enough games on there that they will get to 6 wins and get to a bowl, at least 6, not just to the threshold, but I mean to get to a bowl game. You can respond to what you heard there. The conversation with Danny Gonzalez, sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. Personal and experienced care for your legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500 today and make your legal problems go away. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Thursday night and tonight football.
Olivas going to the corner of the end zone. Nice grab there by Josh Jackson, and that's going to be a touchdown, El Dorado.
Their strong point, their focal point there.
Nelson will keep it himself for some room on the right side. Nelson's on his feet, and he is in. It's a touchdown for Noah Nelson.
Sliding, and they slid on it going out there. Linebacker, they're going for the big gutter play. How did he hold on to that? Ethan Olguin. My goodness, a 32-yard bomb. He's going to launch this one long, and it's a little bit short, but what a pull down. Fabian Trujillo. Unbelievable, this man.
Dyer, back to pass. Pressure, gets out of it nicely. On the sideline, got an open man. It's Lambrana. Cheeto Maid's one miss. Cuts back up the middle. Another cut to the right, and he's all the way down at the 10-yard line.
That's Sweet Pete Jr.?
Right?
That's Sweet Pete Jr. right
What a move there by Cheeto Lambrera.
Second and 1, give it to Gallus. Once again, he evades one tackle, evades two. Breaking into the open, there's a block, bye-bye. And he breaks the last tackle to get through. Jack Gallus with the touchdown.
with his defense so far. Vukovic, and that ball is ripped up. Bernalillo will have this ball at the 1-yard line.
That's the extra yards for Cheeto. Dyer quickly, it's batted into the air, and it is picked off. Rams football as Rio Rancho finally gets the turnover they need as it's tipped into the waiting arms of Vicente Tafoya. Ryan Brown had punched it into the air and allowed Tafoya to come away with it. Let's see if Nelson can make it
right
pay.
back.
No! LaCueva gets it back on another tip drill. It falls into the waiting arms of the senior Luke Ryder.
Kick is up. It will bounce into the arms of Daniel Garcia, and Garcia explodes through the middle. He dodges Castro, and Garcia will run that one back from about the 17-yard line. Call that one an 83-yard touchdown rush.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
You guys were responding to what Danny had to say. 505-246-0610. So, JT, you said they're going to lose the fan base, right? I mean, and I know a couple of people have walked out. You know, I've got a few emails already saying people are done. And I hear you. And I understand because of the way it's been. My eyes tell me they're better, but they're 1-2. I hate seeing it because I love college football so much, right? And so I know I'm conflicted on this, but I've been hearing the word embarrassed by, like, I just got a text says was going to talk crap about Dallas, but I figured I better clam up and not put bad juju on my squad, the Seahawks. It says anxious to see what the student section looks like the next home game. I predict a light turnout. Missed a great U14 soccer match to watch Coach Gonzalez and his squad get embarrassed by an outstanding young quarterback. Congratulations to Aggieland. Did they get embarrassed this weekend? Because this one, it's the same thing like this one on the text line. It says, losing to a lesser program like that is unacceptable and rare, but Danny's strange guarantee afterwards was just bizarre. Is it unacceptable? Is it embarrassing to lose to your rival? Because I always say, if it's unacceptable, why are you playing them?
Yeah, as a fan, absolutely.
Okay.
You want to be 100-0 in a rivalry game. That's not the case, but that's the way you feel as a fan. You have to look at this from a fan standpoint. And one of the things Robert Portnoy and Dontrell Moore talked about when they were wrapping things up was the character and how the football team is going to bounce back after this, and losing to your rival in the locker room, long road trip ahead. What's how's the team going to handle it? And then I came on and I said, no, it's the character of this fan base. Like, this was your moment to show that you have improved. And it's no longer about looking better. You got to get some wins. And they're on the road the next 2 weeks. UMass
Tough
game
trips, man.
Where people, you go out there and beat UMass, like, okay, UMass won one game last year, so you're better than them. And then San Jose State.
You go to Wyoming.
Better. Oh, Wyoming before.
You go to Laramie first.
San Jose State. Like, you needed that game Saturday to keep people around.
And Wyoming played with Texas for a while on Saturday. Like, Wyoming's playing well. I got this one. He's so full of bleep. I don't know. I got another text. I'll read you this one. It says, Christian Washington, Andrew Henry, yeah, let's keep our best players in the doghouse and keep losing. Thanks, Eddie, for keeping Danny around the song. All right, I'm going to tell you this. Corey Krosky-Merrick is better than Christian Washington and Andrew Henry. Okay? You've been in practice. I've been in practice. I've watched games. Yeah. Now, Christian Washington, I don't know what the deal is. I do know I watched him take kickoffs from 9 yards deep in the end zone, try to run him out against Texas A&M, which that wasn't right. I mean, he wasn't great. Andrew Henry, first of all, isn't fully healthy, and I don't know how good he is. I have got no problem.
Running back.
I got no problem with what they're doing at running back with Corey Krosky-Merrick. That's not why they're losing games. It says, I appreciate the kind words on our coverage. Said, great play-by-play of the game, Jeff. Danny needs to abandon single D coverage ASAP. Does he need? He believes in his players. It's funny, right? We talk about the system. This is where you were right. I said going into this season, I believe the defense is going to be good because I've seen the system be so good for basically 2 decades. And you were worried about personnel, and gosh, there's Cody Moon all over the place for San Diego State. Every Aztec game I watch, his name is the name that's called the most. He's the young man from Albuquerque who was a Lobo that's playing for San Diego State. You lose Halsey, and you lost some players. Their defense has got to get better. Look, they only gave up 27 points, but they gave up some big plays.
It was super frustrating because they have taken a huge step forward offensively. And that game was right there to be up 14-0. Ifs and buts, candy and nuts.
John, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, John.
Aggies, oh Aggies, the Hilson back to cry.
Feeling good, huh?
And I don't know who was crying more, the people who stood in line for an hour and decided to quit and leave because they didn't want to pay that much money to go see half a football game.
Yeah, people got to go in. People got to go in before the 10 minutes before the game. They just got to. Like, there's 4 entry points. It's like anywhere. I'm not making excuses for them, but like if you go in, I've been to the Rose Bowl, I've been to the SoFi. Like everybody going in at the last minute, there's only so much you can get through a funnel. But it's not fun waiting in line like that.
But I am so damn happy about the Aggies. I think that hopefully this is good medicine for Coach Kill. And I'm just pleased that they did it with class, and I hope that the Lobos have a good rest of their season. But go Aggies, and I look forward to more wins from them.
Right on, John. Appreciate you. No, thanks for the call. Thanks. Wayne, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Wayne.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it. It's disappointing for sure. It's been quite a few years since I've lost confidence in the Lobo men's football program. And, I just don't know if they're ever going to figure it out. I think that the steps that Eddie Nunez and everybody has taken have been reasonable. But, I would say that at this point, if we were to win maybe 4 games in our conference, that would be a pretty successful year, but it just wouldn't be great in terms of great versus bad years. I think that, we're definitely, in my opinion, at that point where a study should be conducted to see if we would go to a different division, just because it would just be a better program, more interesting game.
What makes you think it would be better? I've heard this. So what would make it better? You think more people would come? You think, because you're not getting the same players, you'd be playing different competition. Because I disagree with you, and I've seen the studies, but what makes you think it would be a better, more compelling product?
There has been a study conducted?
Yeah, well, I've seen, not recently in the last few years, I've seen them in the past, where people are like I'm not going to go watch them play West Texas A&M or go into the Southland or something, or the Big Sky. But from your opinion, you said it would be more compelling or better. Why do you think that?
Well, I do think that if the Lobos are in a different conference, in a different division, I think if we are winning games... What
makes you think they'd automatically win? See, because they wouldn't have the same resources just to go... Now they'd be playing with the same resources at NAU, in Northern Arizona or Montana State, who do it pretty well there.
Well, I do think that we would be a bigger fish in a smaller pond rather than a average-sized fish in a bigger pond. I think that it could be structured in such a way that we would have a better chance of winning.
What about the other program?
Well, let me just say we wouldn't need a coach that makes, $1.2 million a year to bring us what we're getting right now.
All right. No, Wayne, appreciate it. Thanks for the call. Yeah, I disagree with
it's so easy to say that. And they're going to be competitive if they drop to FCS football. Basketball program doesn't want that.
Well, no other program wants
that. No one wants that on campus. You know how much revenue you're losing out? You're not saving money. You're losing revenue, which could lead to other programs getting cut.
Yeah. Yeah. I just disagree with it. And by the way, it's not going to happen. So, yeah. Al, good morning.
Yes, guys. I'm watching the game, and then after the game, I sat down and I said to myself, having been a long-term season ticket holder 2 years ago, can we really win here? That really disturbed me. Can we really win here? We've had 2 winning years in the last 15. So what can we do? I mean, can we bring in a prime time? Somebody like that? What can we do? What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, and Al, I appreciate it. I'm going to answer off the air. Thanks for the call. What can you do? It's going to take a process, right? What was the consistent winning? Right? And you go back and look. There was consistency at head coach with Rocky Long for a while. You built a program, and nobody's got patience.
Score in the red zone.
Score in the red zone, and
like this team is offensively, they are fun to watch. They actually have an identity.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think offensively,
and stub their toe in the first quarter.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna do red zone at 1:15. How about that? We'll do it at since you guys are coming in on this right now. We'll do red zone at 8:45, 8:47, right around there. You ready for Balloon Fiesta? Everybody's coming to town. How's your car look? Get it clean before the chaos. Actually, get it detailed before all the chaos starts. Call my friends over at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. They help get your car looking and smelling and feeling like brand new. You don't have the time? Me neither. On the Spot Automotive Detailing will do it for you where it's convenient, when it's convenient for you, and when they're done, your car looks and feels and smells like it's brand new. What does that even mean? Where it's convenient. They come to you. You don't go to them. You're at the office, they're in the parking lot. That's what it looks like. Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Get your vehicle taken care of. It's one of your biggest investments. Take care of it. 505-859-2859. That's area code 505-859-2859. Or you can book online at otsdetailing.com. That is otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new
JJ Buck on the call this weekend? It's Must List Radio. Does that mean Stiglitz doing pregame with Ned James? No. This is kind of cool. So JJ's in. Rob Portnoy's got a commitment that he's got to attend to. So JJ's going to Amherst, and JJ will be on the play-by-play on Lobo Radio Network with Dontrell Moore. And is that you, DC, stepping up on the pregame show with Nedward Abraham James?
Indeed.
How cool is that?
That is actually like one of the coolest things ever, to be honest.
That's OD in the PM. Or what time's the game?
Yeah, PM.
What time's the game?
1:30 Mountain Time.
Yeah, so it's OD in the PM on a Saturday.
6 days this week.
How about that, dude? I'm stoked for you.
I am too.
Yeah,
And actually, I'm stoked for you because you guys had a great call this weekend. It's very easy to listen to you and George.
No, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. I know you listen to a lot of football. We got really good feedback on that. George is terrific. I'm going to tell you though, and I know you were with Ned James after the game. He's a former Lobo. I was with George Carter after the game, former Lobo. They were both bummed. And so it was really interesting. I said at halftime to him, I said, "You nervous?" He said, "No, good. I'm good." And we went to one break, one commercial break. Took off the headsets. He says, "All right, I'm nervous now, partner." Like that, you could see it.
Terrence Mathis, all the former Lobos that were there, just the frustration after that game.
Yeah. No, I could hear it. I was listening to you and Ned on the way home, and I was with George, and he was just bummed, just so bummed after the game. This was and look, and all the Aggies are ecstatic. When the field goal hit the upright with whatever it was, 1:07 to go, whatever, I forget exactly what it was, when Luke Drzewiecki's field goal hit the upright, and that was it. And I think on the broadcast I said, and that's it. And if those in crimson are ecstatic, those in cherry are distraught. And it was just, looking around the stadium and you get a feel, right? And you're in that place. And I don't know. I hope that captured the moment, but I think, I could feel those people sitting, watching at home, jumping around, leaping and wobbling in their shoes if they're wearing crimson. And Lobo fans just going, no way did this just happen again. And it's you're looking around the place and what that meant to the Aggies too. And look, they were coming off a loss. They're second out of 3 road games in a row. Their coach was ailing throughout the week. And when he got trucked,
stepping up.
Look, and I'm not going to lie. I thought Jerry probably should have coached from the press box. And when he got trucked and Jeremiah Hickson got pushed into Jerry Kill on the sideline, and you were like, oh no, like this could be bad, right? And he was not well this week, and that young fella put some gauze in his left nostril, put some gauze in his beak, and went back and coached. And he was barking at the officials. He was active on that sideline, and I'll tell you what, he coached a heck of a game. Him and his coaching staff.
He did. I'm right there with you. Seeing him pregame, it was great to see Jerry Kill in attendance. I thought he probably should have been up in the booth with everything he was dealing with in the week, and then to see him take the hardest hit of the game, but bounce right back up and help lead his team to victory. His attitude, Diego Pavia's attitude, that's why they won it in Albuquerque.
Yeah, no, and look, Aggie fan, enjoy it, man. That is a big win for your program. And you said it's going to be tough for them to get to 7, right? And it's not easy for them to get bowl eligible. And you mentioned last week, this is a vital game for both of these teams to figure out how they are going to get to where they want to get. They got a big one coming up this week. They got to go all the way out to Hawaii. But you look, are there 5 games on their schedule? With the, 8 left? Are there 5 they can win? Hawaii, FIU, Sam Houston, UTEP, Louisiana Tech. They got a really tough stretch early November. Middle Tennessee,
have the chance
West,
now.
Yeah, now they do. But this middle chunk is really important. They end with Middle Tennessee, Western Kentucky is probably the best team in their league, and then they got to go to Auburn before Rich Rodriguez and Jacksonville State close it out at their place on Thanksgiving weekend. But they're still alive for a chance, right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, we'll go in the red zone. Big NFL week. And then coming up at 9 o'clock, I'll give you my biggest winners and losers in the NFL this weekend and what you think of that. But when we come back, we're going in the red zone, and DC's asking which of these teams are going to make the playoffs. Not an easy answer. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal, your home for Monday night. That's tonight. And Thursday night, that's in 3 nights. And Sunday night football, that's last night.
This report is...
We pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember
United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, refractive lens exchange.
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this game.
You're in the red zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Let's go, baby!
It's 1st and goal.
The Bears, Bengals, Broncos, Cardinals, Chargers, Patriots, Texans, and Vikings are all 0-2. Do any of these teams make the playoffs, and if so, who is it?
You know, my inclination is telling you they all missed the playoffs, and I think it's a bold statement to say.
It's 2-2.
Yeah.
The division games are going to be tight. They actually play the Bengals December 17th, which should be really interesting again late in the season for both of their playoff hopes. The only one I'm going to go with, just because I believe in Joe Burrow that much, is Cincinnati.
I believe in them because I think they're playing a little bit of defense, and they can run the damn football. And Arthur Smith is enough of a gambler, and they believe in him, and they're figuring something out. Look, I don't think they've beaten the world. I thought that was a big win yesterday. Let's see what happens now the next couple weeks. They play the Lions on the road. They get the Jaguars. Let's see what happens over the next couple of weeks. But I like the way they run the football, and their quarterback doesn't make mistakes.
3rd and goal.
All right, 5th round picks aren't supposed to do in their first 2 games of their careers what Puka Nacua has done to NFL defenses. Nacua became the 5th player and first rookie in the Super Bowl era with 10-plus receptions and 100-plus receiving yards in each of his team's first 2 games in a season. Cooper Kupp in 22, Miles Austin in 2010, Isaac Bruce in 98, and Andre Rison in 94 also did this. What do you expect from Puka for the rest of his rookie season? And does he have a ceiling? If so, what is it?
He may have hit like I don't know how much higher he's getting than 15 catches a game and 14 catches a game, but I think he's going to be a consistent receiver, kind of in the mold of what Cooper Kupp is. First of all, it fits in the offense. I don't know when and how effective Cooper Kupp is going to come back. And obviously, Matthew Stafford has a rapport with this young man. He's got good hands. And he's pretty freaking good. I expect him to continue to be good. Now, do I expect 14 catches a week? No. But I expect an all-pro season to continue and this young man to potentially be Offensive Rookie of the Year.
He has top 20 potential the rest of the season.
Top 20 receiver.
Overall. It's the one thing you just have to wait and see. If Cooper Kupp comes back, I believe Puka Nacua is still going to be good, but then Cooper Kupp sucks up all those looks.
A lot of them.
A lot of those looks. So that's why I keep it top 20. The next 2 weeks, he's feasting. Maybe in the next 3 to 4, because I don't think just because it's 4 weeks that Cooper Kupp is going to come off the hour. If Cooper Kupp does not play, then this is a stat-wise top 10 wide receiver in the NFL.
2 weeks in, who's your Offensive Rookie of the Year?
It's Puka.
All right, 2 weeks in, who would you bet on to be at the end of the year? Offensive. I know I'm intercepting your whole thing here, but would you him or Bijan?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think Bijan because he's going to get more touches, but I think it'll be close.
Puka's getting as many touches as he is as a receiver. It's crazy. Sorry to interrupt you.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
All right, it feels like a lot has changed since the preseason, even though we're only 2 games into the regular season. What was one prediction you felt good about 2 weeks ago that you now disagree with?
like Broncos being a competitive football team, even though they don't. You look at that game, and if you didn't see the ending, you're like, oh, they only lost by 2. Those games have been really frustrating to watch. How they've lost at home.
Bengals win in their division. Their offense has sputtered, limped, crawled. That's with Joe Burrow, and if he's hurt, and it looks like he's hurt. I mean, the biggest thing that I thought going in, I would have told you Seattle after week 1, but that's such a big win for them. To me, the thing I feel that I got. Oh, I'll give you another one. That the Rams are going to stink. Bengals winning that division, I don't believe in anymore, and the Rams just being in competition for that overall first pick, I don't believe in it anymore.
Yeah, mine was putting too much faith in the Bears. I thought they were going to be something, and it appears. I was so wrong.
Yeah, that's the red zone for today. I look at it. I mean, the Cowboys are better than maybe I thought. Although I want to see them. They played. Who'd they open with? The Giants, who look pathetic. Well, but they made them look pathetic.
Dominated 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, there's no doubt on the Cowboys. And
when they get next 2 games, Dak Prescott is not throwing an interception.
Yeah. Are they the best team in football right now? Are the Niners the best team? Who do you like better? They're going to play each other here in a few weeks.
I'm taking the Cowboys right now.
Over the Niners?
Yeah. They just, their defense looks so good, and Dak is playing smart football.
Can I throw one other in the mix right now?
Yes, you can.
Miami?
Ooh. Yeah. You can make a strong argument for Miami.
Miami looks nice. I told you, I thought they were better than the Jets. We all thought the Bills were the best team in that division, but we'll see. All right, keep bringing them at 505-246-0610. I got your biggest winners and losers of week 1. No, that would be week 2. Actually, really, of yesterday. Because we only play on Sunday. That's coming up, and we'll hear what you have to say on that Lobo Aggie game. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal. Your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Big NFL weekend, big college weekend. Aggies beat the Lobos 27-17 at University Stadium. Cowboys were winners over the Jets. The Broncos blow a big lead. The score looks close. Well, they got a Hail Mary at the end. Didn't you, by the way, know when they hit the Hail Mary? And I said to Addie, watch this. She was doing her homework. She's like, whoa. I said, don't worry. They're going to miss the 2-point conversion. Like, I had no doubt they were going to miss the 2-point conversion. As much, because I needed to go overtime. I needed, like, one more catch out of Jahan Dotson to win my game. But did you think they were going to make the 2-point conversion?
Well, they would have had a chance if they would, they would have called pass interference.
It was pass interference, by the way. It absolutely was pass interference.
Like, oh, I'm not calling it.
Absolutely was pass interference. All right, 505-246-0610. Mike, you're in Cleveland. Thanks for listening to us in Ohio. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. What's happening?
So, first of all, I wanted to say the worst prediction that I had preseason, and I put $100 because I got them 11-1, was the Jets making the playoffs.
Well, it wasn't the worst one. I mean, shoot, at that point, you had Aaron Rodgers. I think everybody loved that at 11-1.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we all know what happened. But I have two favorite teams in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns, of course, and whoever's playing the Dallas Cowboys that week. And, I don't know. It's, because of the fans, we all know why we don't like the Cowboys. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys my hot take. I got 5 very important words for you guys. Cleveland Browns to the Super Bowl.
That's big words. All right. Thank you, man. How about that from Ohio?
Super Bowl, 1 word or 2?
Cleveland Browns to the Super Bowl. Got to be 1. Otherwise, that's how they count in Cleveland. Big one tonight. Who you like, Browns or Steelers tonight?
I like the Browns.
Everybody loves. Oh yeah, you were on the Browns. That was one of your picks, wasn't it? You wanted Browns minus 2.5, but you don't get to make Monday picks for Sunday games.
Looks like you should be running out to get something on the Steelers.
What if you go 0-4? Does it count to go?
The bonus play.
Yeah,
it's a bonus loss. Exactly. Yeah. I get a bonus loss. They're going into next week's paycheck. Sorry, honey, I lost it all on
the Browns.
Browns. You did what?
I put everything on the Browns.
Said nobody. Well, that's not right. Should nobody ever do ever. All right, let me give you my biggest winners and losers of the weekend.
Of Sunday NFL football.
Yeah, it's Sunday. I'm giving you. Do we start winners or losers first?
You start wherever you want.
All right, I'm going to start the biggest winners of the weekend. I got number 3. Number 3. And it's I go because they're in the same division and everybody thought they were no good, and they're both 2-0. I got Tampa Bay and Atlanta. Nobody's talking about Tampa Bay, and I put them on the list at number 3 because they're getting play out of Baker Mayfield. They beat a Bears team that people seem to like. They went on the road last week and won. And then they win again this weekend with Baker Mayfield looking like a quarterback. And then my other one is Atlanta. And if you made me pick one, I would go Atlanta because they're coming back and they're doing this to come back and beat Green Bay the way they won at home to start 2-0 and to say, look, we're here in this division. They run the football. I think those two teams starting 2-0 is a big deal.
The way Atlanta won,
yeah,
give them a ton of credit. But we talked about them as potentially a division winner in the South.
Yeah,
we did not talk about Tampa Bay like that.
So you would go Tampa Bay then?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. That's why I went to go. Number 2 this week, and look, there were a lot of big wins and a lot of teams that won big games. And but the way I always do this, I always kind of feel like it's the biggest win because it's more than just this week's football game. I always look at this, what it means long term. That's kind of how I define this. It's the Giants, and you say, well, Jeff, they beat Arizona. They look like crap. I know, and that's why it was such a big win because they were being outscored 60-0 after 6 quarters. They were done. They were. I already penciled them in as number 1 biggest loser of the week. I did.
You had it set.
and then they come back and win, and I got them as number 2 because the way they came back and won on the road, and they're staying out west. They're playing Thursday night against San Francisco, and to find it now, they lose Saquon Barkley. We don't know for how long. We'll find out. But the way they came back and won on the road and salvaged that thing, it would have been, I think, monumental to start out 0-2 and lose to Arizona. And so I got them at number 2. And my number 1 biggest winner of the weekend is Seattle. To go on the road after getting beat at home by the Rams and go into a place where everybody just loved, and you should, Detroit. Everybody picked Detroit. Detroit's going to beat them. Geno's a joke. Geno, it was a one season wonder. I don't know how you hit one-hit wonder after a whole season. But for them to come back and do it both offensively and defensively, Jeff, there were 1 million points scored in that game. I know. But what they did defensively when they needed to, and then Geno leading it in overtime and marching down the field and scoring a touchdown after winning the toss, I thought it was a huge win for Seattle on the road.
I'm all in on Seattle being a winner. Defensively, they had a pick 6.
Yeah.
They picked off Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff for the first time in 383 pass attempts. The defense absolutely made a difference in that game, and they did it without both of their starting offensive tackles. And Geno Smith
I wrote that down, yeah.
I would kick the Giants off that list.
Okay.
And the way you described it,
yeah,
about kind of the impact and meaningful, and put the Baltimore Ravens there.
Fair enough. Okay. And they were a big winner. Yeah. To win a division game.
Cincinnati Bengals.
2-0.
And how they did it. It was back to Baltimore Raven football. They weren't trying to force anything. Lamar was good 2 touchdown passes, made some throws downfield. Zay Flowers is legit in that offense, and he got the yards needed with his legs in the second half.
All right, well, then let's start in that game for my biggest loser of the weekend because I got Cincinnati as number 3. And to start 0-2 with all the expectations, with Joe Burrow limping around like they were. I don't have them higher because they lost to a really good team. But to lose a division game, to lose their first 2 with the expectations they got, I got Cincinnati as number 3 on my top 3 losers. Number 2 is the Broncos. The way they lost, like they're done. And I hate saying that, but they came out and gave you a glimpse of what they, I don't even know what they could be, what you want them to be. And it's not like they lost to a powerhouse. I don't think they lost to a horrible team. They lost to Sam Howell. Sam Howell went up and down the field on them and came back from 21-3 and jammed it down their neck in their own place. And so now they're 0-2. They lose at home. and they're in a division that I don't know where they're crawling back from. Although the Raiders aren't great, and the Chargers are 0-2. But I thought that was their number 2, and my number 1 biggest loser of the week is the Chargers. To go on the road and lose to Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee wasn't supposed to be very good, right? If you're supposed to be who you're supposed to be, to start out with 2 losses like that, to lose to Miami, okay, fine. Miami's really good. But then you go and you start out 0-2, and you're who you are, and you continue. Like, I'm on the biggest losers list every week because they lose close games, and at some point you look in the mirror and you figure out, or you ask yourself, how the hell do I win? Is this just who I am? And the answer for the Chargers, unfortunately, is yeah. It's kind of who you are. I got them as the number 1 loser of the week.
Brandon Staley needs to go. He can sit there and preach all he wants about how that Jaguars loss is not lingering. Well, it's not just the Jaguars lost in the playoffs. We're up 27-0. It's the fact that 13 of the 18 losses when Brandon Staley is the head coach have been by 1 score.
Yeah.
And they do not know how to win close
You gotta learn
games.
how to win.
And Brandon Staley's supposed to be a defensive guy. How about making Ryan Tannehill look fantastic?
All of a sudden he was back, right? Ryan Tannehill was
Big
back.
Big plays down the field.
Yep.
The Titans were 3 of 4 in the red zone when it came to scoring touchdowns. There is nothing defensive about the Chargers. This is just offensive, and not the kind of offensive you want.
They've given up 30 plus in their first 2 games. Yeah. David, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, David.
Hello. From somebody who likes 8 favorite teams and has 3 hated NFL teams and 1 kind of severely disliked team, it's kind of hard for me to navigate my teams win, my teams lose, because of those 8 and 3 or 4, some lose, some win. Ultimately, it just brings to mind fan, in my opinion, should kind of cover the team, whether they're good or bad, in which case all this idea that, oh, my team is doing well, and it just brings to mind people are fair weather fans, and they'll kind of demonize everybody in their division. Case in point, I like the Vikings, the Lions, and the Packers. I hate the Bears. And ultimately, I remember one of your co-hosts saying, oh, everybody in the NFC North has to hate the Packers. I said, no. And I gave the expression, no, I hate the Bears. And she doubled down saying, no, everybody in the division hates the Packers. And I'm like, well, no, I hate the Bears. What I'm getting to, all that said, is the predictions. If I were to make a long shot bet, I would think 49ers, Lions, and ultimately Chargers and another AFC team, including maybe the Dolphins, might be your 4 final 2 teams, which would be the ideal long shot.
49ers?
And the Lions.
All right. Okay.
And the
Chargers and Dolphins.
Dolphins and the Chargers. I mean, that could easily happen because over the time, teams have actually come up and been really bad, and they kind of do well. Ultimately, they do well later part in the season. It just takes them to get in the playoffs. Case in point, last year's Buccaneers.
That's right. Well, 2 years ago. Yeah. Oh yeah. They Buccaneers last year were 8-9, got in the playoffs. No, I appreciate it. And David, thanks for the call. So he's going a little bit. I don't know if the 49ers or the Dolphins are a long shot. I would the Lions a little longer, and the Chargers at 0-2 a longer shot to get in. All right. But yeah, look, your fandom is what your fandom was. He was talking about how A. Marie used to, she's a Viking fan, and she was adamant. Everybody hates Green Bay. And he's like, well, no, I don't. I'm a fan of teams in that division. I don't hate Green Bay. No, everybody hates. And she used to say that. And like, you kind of come from your point, right? I don't know. You guys are Broncos fans. You guys all hate the Raiders?
There's only one team I hate, and it's not the Raiders.
Who's that? What team do you really dislike?
I cannot stand the Chiefs.
All right, fair, right? They beat you all the time. Is there one you don't like as a fan? I mean, it's hard, right? We've been doing this so long, you lose your fandom at some point. But you know, I got one.
So there's not really teams I despise in the NFL anymore.
There's what my fandom. I mean, just where I came from, it was the Niners, right? It was the Niners. You grow up a Rams fan, and that's how it is. Yeah, and I lose it a little bit doing this and try to have some neutrality.
Same for me. It's I try and say something nice about the Chiefs every day,
but why?
It's very hard.
Do you? Do you really try to say one every day?
I always say Kelsey's great.
All
Mahomes
right.
is great.
All right.
There's no denying that. I mean, I'd sound pretty dumb if I didn't say that.
JJ is good. I just want to hear A. Marie's take. A. Marie's on in the afternoon. So the 3657. He wants to hear what she thinks about UNM and NMSU and CU and CSU. So she'll be on at 4:00 with 2 men on. That's when A. Marie will be here. That's when you'll be able to hear her takes. What's your take on Colorado? By the way, we talked about Colorado State. I know we talked about in the 7 o'clock hour, and that audience is completely turned. When you sat and watched that game, being from there, what did you feel? Whether you're a fan of either one of them, was it good for the state? Was it good for college football up there in the Rocky Mountain region? Just watching all the attention up there, or how do you feel about that?
That game's always a good one. So
It was insane.
Yeah, I've been to that game many times. It's always a good game. I think it was good for football in the state. I think that is a very fair statement. I think it was better for Colorado State than it was for Colorado.
Really? Even though they lost?
Even though they lost, they looked good doing it. I think the attention they get from that, they will probably benefit from that. How much, I don't know. But, if you get a good recruit, or at least you're in people's minds, it could build towards something greater in the years to come. So I think that was really good for them. I have a tough time with the Buffaloes right now. I like the effect that Prime has, but he's definitely losing me.
He's losing you.
Yeah, I just by the end of that game, I had seen enough of his commercials. I had seen enough Prime. Like I'm just being honest. I realized at that moment that
it's all about him.
He's not a Buffalo. Yeah, so this is a stop for him, and it's cool that we get to experience this.
But he's putting you on a map that you've never been on since McCartney. Since he won national championships 25, 30 years ago, he's putting you on a stage that I mean, you were so far from it a year ago. The story's insane. 1-11 to the story. Like literally, the story in college football. Not Nick Saban falling out of the top 10 for the first time in like 100,000 years. Not Georgia. It's them. It's them. The story in college football. I get it, though.
Being 3 weeks in, it just feels like a circus. And so, like I said earlier,
if they win these next two, you've seen nothing yet.
If they win these next two, then it is a very different story.
Yeah, one of the next.
I agree with you.
But here's the thing:
it's Oregon and USC.
I think you get in trouble by thinking that someone has to be this or that, or this coach isn't going to be here in 3 years. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares if the dude's around 10 years, but he doesn't do anything? You still want Mel Tucker up there in Colorado? How's that working out for Michigan State?
Yeah.
Like if you're sitting there, if you're a Colorado fan, and you're like, well, Deion's not going to be here. Was 1-11 better for you last year? That's kind of what life you live? Oh, let's give this coach time to build. Let's give him 5 to 6 years of nothing. It's not the way life works in college athletics anymore.
And the people up there at that game sure seem to be sucking that in, man. They seem to be loving it and enjoying it. And I think maybe there's something to what DC's saying, is that they know it's not going to last, right? They know that this is, in some respect, fool's gold, but it's not if you keep winning. That this is a temporary thing. And you know what? I'm going to side with JJ a little bit, but I'm not as close to the program as you are. If they win this thing and it keeps rolling, enjoy it. Ride this out and roll it. I know we're late for this break. When we come back, I want to get into that and what Colorado State has next. Get you the Mountain West scores from over the weekend, what the league did and what it means. And Colorado State's got a sneaky one coming up. You're going to say, oh, well, at least they'll win this one. I'm not all that sure. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 680 Sports Animal. You're home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
Come to the UNM Howl Zone.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been
Saturday. I bet the Aggies are going to get good weather in Honolulu, too. Both teams, they couldn't be further apart, could they? Next week. Aggies and Lobos. One in Massachusetts, one in Hawaii. And both kind of basing out of here this week. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, and DC. I want to look at the Mountain West for a minute. And you talk about Colorado State. This is a really interesting week for Colorado State. They're coming off the high of playing against Colorado on national TV. They're going to go to Murfreesboro, Tennessee next week. I don't know what the spread's going to be. You like Colorado State or you like Middle Tennessee next week? Rick Stockstill is a good coach there.
MTSU.
I like Middle too.
So like this was the perfect storm for Colorado State. How they responded. CU, yeah, it was personal, but it was also overwhelming for the majority of that game.
It's going to be interesting for them the rest of the way too, because then they'll come home, they'll get Utah Tech, and then they'll go on the road to Utah State. 505. Let me give you the rest of what happened in the Mountain West over the weekend, because there were some interesting ones. The best team in the league is I think pretty good, JJ, and that's Fresno State. And they went on the road and they won at Arizona State and shut out the Sun Devils 29-0. Look, I know it's not a great Arizona State team, but Fresno State has now won at Purdue and won at Arizona State. I know they struggled at home in the middle of that with a win over Eastern Washington 34-31. They appear pretty good, and I dare I say, if they can run the table, they would be in the conversation for the group of 5 New Year's Six.
If you stay undefeated, you're in that conversation. Arizona State's not going to be a good win by the end of the year because their starting quarterback got hurt, and they're going to lose a lot of games.
They're on quarterback 4, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but still, the domination over there.
But that's what you want to see.
Yep.
If you want to be a good conference, the best teams in your conference should be able to beat bottom Power 5 teams.
Let me give you another one. Now, they lost this game. Wyoming loses at Texas 31-10. I know that sounds like a big number. It was 10-10 after 3 quarters. Wyoming was 10-10 until Xavier Worthy caught a 44-yard pass from Jaron Thompson, and then they had an interception return. Wyoming was toe-to-toe with Texas. Lobos got to go there in 2 weeks. So Wyoming had an interesting outing. Hawaii got pounded at Oregon. San Diego State got beat 26-9. They covered They lost at Corvallis 26-9. Didn't I have them covering? And what was the other one I had covered? I had Central Michigan covered. You told me I was nuts. They covered.
You're correct.
Boise State beat North Dakota 42-18. Big win for the conference over the SEC. UNLV beat Vanderbilt in Vegas 40-37. Toledo, I think it's the best team in the MAC, beat San Jose State 21-17. Spartans are 1-3. And Kansas struggled. How about Nevada putting up a fight? A week after getting blued out of their own built by an FCS, they took Kansas down to the wire and had a chance. Kansas beat Nevada late night 31-24. Interesting stuff coming up this weekend. You got more opportunities for the Mountain West Conference League play. Boise State, San Diego State Friday night in California. Air Force, San Jose State on Friday night in California. App State will be in Laramie. That's interesting. Really interesting. James Madison's at Utah State, UNLV at UTEP, and New Mexico State's at Hawaii. Grady, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Grady.
3 winners and no losers of the OG and the AM. What's happening?
Lots, man. What's going on?
You know, I was actually going to jump in here and talk a little Colorado State, and then DC's comments got me thinking. And and then JJ's subsequent comments got me thinking too. It's like, well, it's I think it's a matter of, water's wet, the sky's blue. If you like Deion Sanders, because right now it is about him. It's about prime time. Everybody that's there, all the celebrities, everything. It's about him as a singular individual.
That's right.
And if you don't like him or his style, and if you're a Buffs fan, then that's got to be hard because, as soon as he leaves, you're right. All that hype is following him. Now, and the argument is, well, so what? Your program is better. Will it be better? It's the day he walks out the door, are you going to get residual effects? Are a lot of those guys that he brought in, are they going to stay? And is Colorado going to be relevant again after he leaves? And, I don't know. My answer is, I don't think so, but, maybe. And just because he is such a singular force, it's almost like the team itself, the university, that's a second afterthought, a distant second afterthought. So, that's just interesting because I would tend to think that if you don't like him, he's going to leave and you're going to be right back where you started because everything that he brought in, he's taken out with him. So, interesting.
I think that's right.
But isn't that kind of what college athletics is regardless right now?
I would say not always the case because let's say Alabama. So let's say if Nick Saban, he gets booted out of there for whatever reason, there's enough of a tradition that you're still going to get good kids to go to Alabama.
What was before him? Hold on. What was before him, right? Bear Bryant was great. How was Mike Shula and Dennis Franchione and Mike Price and all that stuff right before Nick Saban got there?
They were decent.
They were mediocre.
They weren't 1-11.
No, they weren't 1-11. I'll give you 1-11. They were not 1-11.
Yeah. It's the same thing like with USC and their turnover. USC has enough cachet, and a lot of these other, Michigan, Ohio State, they've always been, pretty good, even in their down years when they're 7-4, 500, a little bit above 500, and coaches come and go. But kids still there's still enough cachet. Colorado has zero cachet, as we've noticed since, the Bieniemy days, the McCartney days. And I don't think that Deion's brand, and, for good or bad, is going to be the brand that, it's not the rising tide that raises all ships. It's prime or it's nothing. And when he's gone, I don't think it's going to raise that Colorado ship. So, just real quick, lastly, after watching that game, I think Colorado State was the biggest winner out of that. And you guys are right. It was they lost that game versus CU winning that because they stopped playing to win. They started playing not to lose.
100%.
And if I were Deion Sanders, I'm sure he's told his kids this. I would tell him, look, not everybody is going to be grateful that we gave them a national spotlight. Not everybody's going to be so thankful that we got them on ESPN and we got their players mentioned. Not everybody's going to be so grateful like Oliver Twist. Thank you, man. Have another L, sir. Not everybody's going to be like that. Some people are going to not like your shtick, and they're going to try to punch you in the mouth. I mean, I think that Scott Van Pelt text that they highlighted, someone forgot to tell CSU this is a party, and they showed up for a fight. And you know what? It's one of those things where that style, that brand, you are going to get everybody's toughest shot. And you know what? You're going to get some. You're going to get some cheap shots. You're going to get some hard shots, and you're going to get people that they don't like that.
That's right.
And it's let's see. I mean, I hope that he's preparing his folks for that, because
for the next
tell you what, the sledding only gets tougher from here.
That's
and
the truth.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right, man. Good to hear you. Thanks. It's really good stuff on him. It's really good. If you're there, stay there. We're going to get back to you. I got to take this break. 505-246-0610. Your thoughts. I know a lot of you watched that game a late night. Polarizing, right? Some people, and it feels like a lot of people love the Deion shtick. And is it a shtick? I don't know, man. They're 3-0. They were 1-11 a year ago. They're the biggest story in college sports, maybe in sports in America. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. You're home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday Night Football.
London's calling.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sound of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Ozera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Mud says on the text machine, UMass is the only winnable game for Lobos, but starting conference play, maybe they'll beat Hawaii, but the others are better than last year. Fresno State will demolish us. I love Coach and Lobos, but I'm worried this season will not be good. That's from Mud. That's a 505-246-0610. I do have a Jason email that I'll get to you. You were expecting a Jason email, were you not? Get that to you as well. Hello, Adolph. You're on the Sports Animal.
Oh, great. Thanks for taking my call. You know, I was always taught in the law that if you can ask the right question, then you're halfway to the correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what other team, since we're talking about Colorado, and they were 1-11 last year,
correct,
and they basically have not been relevant since they won the national championship, what is that, 20, 30 years ago?
Ish, yeah.
What other team, if you place them in the same situation as Colorado was last year, meaning 1-11, 0 whatever, 2-10, 3-9, whatever, okay, what other team would you pick that would opt to remain at that level of play instead of hiring Deion Sanders? Okay, that's the question that you got to ask.
Yeah.
Okay,
and there's
so
none.
all this noise that I hear about, well, he's going to leave and everything. Would you have preferred that he never arrived?
Look, let me tell you something. Yeah, it's a great call, Adolph, and thank you. I appreciate you. Let me tell you something. The answer is none. The answer is none. Give me a 1-11, 2-10. Give me whatever team. The answer is none. Would you rather he never arrived? Would you rather we stayed irrelevant? Would you? The answer is none. Right? I tell you this all the time. If a coach is going to come in and turn you around and leave, every place is a stepping stone. And you're like, well, what do you mean? I don't know. Bill Self used, or I'm sorry, Roy Williams used Kansas to get to North Carolina, didn't he? John Calipari, look at the places of some of these coaches. Did Nick Saban use the Miami Dolphins to get to Miami or to Alabama? Was that a stepping stone? Like, what is a stepping stone? And we're all you get around here, we're so worried. Oh, he's going to leave and go somewhere. How many coaches from here used it as a stepping stone? And so what if they did? If they use, and I say use it, if they move on to something, and your place is better off than it was before. Remember when Reggie Theus left New Mexico State, went to the Sacramento Kings, got paid $3 million a year? And he left the Aggies in a better place. The answer is you shake his hand and you say thank you, wish him good luck, and move on because you're in better shape than you were before. And look, if Deion leaves next week and you're Colorado, I don't even know how you argue that you're not in better shape than you were before. And so you're right. If he's not a Buffalo and he leaves when his kids are done or when he's done, or nobody knew you existed, man. You weren't just 1-11. You're getting run out of the built every week. We'll go back to Mike McIntyre and Mel Tucker, and who was the coach last year? Does it even matter? So that's where I am on that. I think Adolph's right on that. But DC, to your point now, I'm not talking to boosters up there who are, and I understand the whole.
Enjoy the moment. We don't enjoy the moment enough in sport. We're here for the negative. We're here to drop the hot takes and always like, well, you traded this first round pick for that, or what's going to happen? Just enjoy what you got right now. We miss on that opportunity so much in sports.
Want to bet this guy's enjoying the moment? Jerome's an Aggie. I haven't heard Jerome, I don't know, in quite some time, but Aggies beat the Lobos. Hello, Jerome.
Gentlemen, I'm always listening. I just haven't been calling in, but, I can't miss an opportunity to congratulate the Aggies who always seem to do more with less resources and things like that. But, it was going into hostile territory against a Lobo team that was fired up, but we calmed everybody down, and the Aggies took care of business. And it's nice having a coach like Jerry Kill that believes in the program, that believes in the people, and you see the results of victory over your rival, and hopefully things get better and better for the Aggie football program as they compete and they start figuring out what his system is. But it was a fun victory over the Lobos, and I'm celebrating, so I'm enjoying it. That's all Aggies are.
As you should. See you, Jerome. As you should, right? That's what rivalries are about, man. Winners are ecstatic and losers are distraught. So that's what it's all about. You ready for Jason? Good morning, OD. Win or lose, we wobble in our shoes and I show up, which is more than I can say for some Lobo fans, unless it is to cry. Lobo fans, where are you today? They didn't want excuses by the Aggies should they lose. They told the jokes with the cute little voices, but today, UNM football is the butt of the jokes, from you can't spell Lobos without that L to some jokes that tap dance against decency, comparing Lobo football to things that fall into the bowl and Flushing. Said bowl. I noticed the vitriol from Lobo fans aren't voiced with cute voices. Today has been absolutely delicious listening to meltdowns, crickets, crying, and tantruming from Lobo fans. Lobo fans are a funny bunch. Instead of acknowledging that the Aggies are an improving team with better athletes and great coaching, the narrative from them is, how can we lose to them? Answer, you mean Lobo fan? How can we lose to a program that has been to 2 bowls since the last time you went to a bowl? Or how could you lose to a program that has 4-3 advantage over you in the last 7 meetings? The Aggies have been your equal over the last 7 to 8 years. The narrative should be Aggie football has been improving under Jerry and is building a program Aggie fans can be proud of. They have also recruited well. Heck, did you see their young offensive line push around the UNM defensive line? Remember when you all were pleased that Texas A&M did not push around the Lobo D-line? Did you see the speed on the Aggie roster? Players running away from Lobo defenders, Lobo players being tracked down by Aggie defenders in the open field. More importantly, had the best player on the field who is from New Mexico, a player who was not recruited by UNM, by the way. I sat in the same stands next to a few fans who felt that if he went to Cleveland, Rio Rancho, Los Lunas, or La Cueva, he'd be a Lobo. But Danny's coaching staff, who were tasked with recruiting locally, failed him. And they, more than Danny, should pay the price. Anyway, I digress. Today, it is good to be an Aggie, as it is every day. Win or lose, we wobble in our shoes, meaning we show up regardless of circumstance. Compared to those guys up north whose fight song is crying ever, fleeing ever, or something to that effect, and how miserable those guys are today. Enjoying the trajectory of Aggie football and the W. Time to turn the page. Crimsonally, Jason. What do you think?
Not wrong.
I mean, gloat when you can gloat. All right, got 2 lines buzzing, 2 lines open. I got to take this break. We're going to get you when we come back. If you are there, please stay there. 505-246-0610 is the number. Come on in. For years, I've been telling you about IPS. They offer you standing guards or 24-hour patrols to protect your home and business. You might not know IPS also installs home alarms. They've been doing this for a few years, but want to remind you that if you don't have an alarm or you need to upgrade in Albuquerque, you're much more likely to be a victim of a break-in. The IPS technology team also installs video cameras to record criminals who vandalize or steal company or home property. Video can help the police in the investigation when the bad guys see a surveillance camera. It discourages criminal activity. And IPS can set up your business or home with access control, so the only people authorized to get in are you to your facility. So sign up and have IPS monitor your alarm and cameras. When they see something, the alarm goes off. It's usually 7 minutes or less before they get there. IPS provides manpower and technology to protect you, your family, and your property. It's a winning combination. Call IPS. I did. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or visit ipsglobal.com. Passionate to make Albuquerque a safer and better place to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Ozira, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better.
See, which one's on our air? Do you know? Got 2 NFL. You got double Monday Night Football tonight. You ready for that? The early game is the early game. It's, what's this, week 2? I got New Orleans, Carolina for you at 5:15, and then Cleveland, Pittsburgh tonight. I think we do Cleveland, Pittsburgh. I'm pretty sure that's the one we do. But we got Monday Night Football for you tonight. All right, 505-246-0610. Let's go. John, thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, John.
Hi, good morning, opening drive. I met you at before the game with Kurt and Andy.
Yeah.
Before you went up to call the game. Remember me?
Yeah, I do.
Anyway, it's been my first local football game in a while, and the tailgate was always fun. And by the way, I taped your the broadcast of the game and listened to it when I got back home, and it was pretty good. You guys did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
The picture was crisp and clear, and the shots were great and all that. But as far as for the football game, I was very, very disappointed. I think we all expected much more out of the Lobo football team. I think we really expected them to beat them and beat them handily, but of course that didn't happen. The fumble was brutal. It could have been at least 10, maybe 14-0. And then the giving up that long pass after we had inched closer was really a backbreaker, and that's when people started to leave. And the frustration spilled over into the stands. There was arguments and fights, and in fact, we had to get up and leave from our seats. I had my son, my 2 grandsons, and my daughter-in-law. These people behind us were dropping F-bombs all over the place, and we asked them to stop because we had children, and they wouldn't. So we had to get up and leave and go move and watch what we could of the rest of the game from there. So I'm not going to give up. I'm gonna go to a couple more home games and see what happens. You know, the Lobos still have a chance to salvage. They got to correct their mistakes and do the right things. They're going to have to handle Massachusetts, because if they don't, we're not going to have anybody at the next home game. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to continue to hope that they do better, and go Lobos.
Right on, John. Appreciate you. Good to meet you, too, the other day. There were a bunch of tailgates. I stopped, and I actually remember exactly where he was. I don't know, man. You know, the bummer, and this isn't a win-loss thing about who won. The bummer for Lobos and Lobo fans is the atmosphere, and you guys were both out in it, was really fun on Saturday, right? And we get that, it feels like once every 2 years, and sometimes for a bowl game, and that's what I hope doesn't go away, because it was.
Then you had to win that game if you wanted to go away.
I get it, man. I get it, and that's why I'm saying the bummer, right? I'm not rooting for a team. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm rooting for the atmosphere. What's good for the community, and Saturday was good for this community. Now, I wasn't sitting in stands listening to F-bombs and all that stuff, but that's the bummer of this whole thing, if there is one. Ben, good morning to you. You're on the Sports Animal.
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. I was just calling on a couple points. I heard a gentleman earlier saying that it'd be best if the levels dropped down. I think that would be a detriment and a killer blow to the athletic program.
Of course.
And second of all, I heard something in regards to a gentleman saying, can the football program ever sustain like they had before? And I think the one time since I've been alive, I'm born in 82, with Rocky Long, I understand the recruits here, they are the top recruits here, wanting to get out of state. I totally understand that. But when Rocky Long was the coach here, he got a lot of very, very good New Mexico talent that stuck around in regards like Cole McCamey, Brandon Moss, Dontrell Moore, Hank Baskett, and et cetera, like DJ Renteria. And I saw something in an article in the newspaper the other day that said, you know the city that has the most people that went to high school that are in the NFL right now in the United States that has the most players that went to a high school? You know the city?
I don't.
It's Detroit with Sauce Gardner and all them. They got 19. Second is Houston with 17. And then you got Vegas with 15. And I think the Vegas thing's probably the Bishop Gorman.
Mm-hmm.
But I was reading the article. Is there not one kid from New Mexico in the NFL right now?
I don't think on an active roster.
Like high school. Like
high school.
I went to high school here.
Yeah, I
And
don't think there is one on an active roster right now because Zach Gentry's on a practice squad. I don't believe there is. Jason Sanders isn't from here. He went to UNM. There's UNM and NMSU players, but not a Albuquerque high school kid. I don't think so.
I think, I mean, I'm not trying to like talk down about the high school football here. If your high school football is not great in the state, normally your college teams aren't going to be great.
Yeah, I get that.
And our high school football here in the States, not the best. I mean, we got some good talent that comes here and there, and they go elsewhere. But if you can't sustain on the high school level, I mean, you're never going to have a program.
Well, yeah, and that's a whole bigger conversation. Ben, I appreciate the call, and thanks. Yeah. Look, when Rocky was recruiting, a lot of those high school kids from New Mexico Hank Baskett played in the NFL, and Brian Urlacher did. Right, and Brian Urlacher was actually recruited by Dennis Franchione, and that's that group. It's not like and Dontrell had a cup of coffee in the NFL. It's not like you had a bunch of them going to the NFL, but they were good college players.
Yes.
The Nick Spiegels and the Mike Mahorks and all the guys that nobody else gave them a chance but UNM. The problem now is you just had one of those guys, right? Cody Moon. Cody Moon is that guy. And he opted for the transfer portal and said, all right, now I'm out. It's not only do you have to recruit him once, you got to keep recruiting him, right? Because all of a sudden, well, if you don't win, or even if you do, well, maybe I want to go somewhere else. Maybe it's better over there. Like Cody Moon was that guy.
Absolutely was that guy.
That was an absolute old school Rocky Long era recruit. A local guy, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Wasn't recruited by anybody else. Came out, you turned him into a stud. The only difference is you got a transfer portal now. Cody Moon said, I want to go live in San Diego and play for the Aztecs. That's what he did. So you got to keep recruiting them. It's interesting. Can you win? Can it be sustained? Look, I got a whole text chain going on about going down, dropping down to the whatever level, and that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Lobos, and nor should it. Just got to figure out how to win a football. And football's important. How patient do you want to be? I'm going to tell you, this coach has done everything the right way except for win. This coach has embraced the community, wants to be here. I think he's recruited well. He's made changes in the offensive coaching staff, and I know you're out of patience, some of you. This coach wants to be here. He is a good person who, and I said this after the broadcast, watching him and Jerry Kill embrace it at midfield. JJ, two gentlemen, like you've got two real good, very different, but two good people running your two Division I programs right now. One's winning at a level that happened way quicker, and I know it's frustrating for it's not happening at UNM. And look, do I consider? I do. Full disclosure, I consider Danny a friend. I like him, but I think he's doing it the right way here. And I understand the business, man. I understand it's about wins and losses, and I understand that the pressure is ratcheting up. But I think football is important, man. Why do you think all that conference realignment just happened for basketball? No, football is important. You got to figure out a way to win in football.
Danny has done everything you want from a head coach. The way he's embraced the community, the expectations he set for players in his program. the connection between him and the fan base, being a Lobo. He's done all those things. Making the move offensively with Bryant Vincent. Bryant Vincent is a very good offensive coach. This team is different with him leading the charge, the quarterback he was able to bring in. And if you're a Lobo fan, you're just frustrated because this was your moment to take a step at home against your rivals. And everything Jason said in email is correct. New Mexico State's good, but you should still expect to beat your rival at home. You should see that in the rivalry. New Mexico State, same thing last year. Got to beat the Lobos at home. And it's a missed opportunity that's going to take a lot of people a while to get over.
I appreciate Danny Gonzalez being with us today. Thank you to Lobo head coach. I'm expecting something out of New Mexico State tomorrow.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor,
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them.